outfit change. I have to get comfortable to do all this baking because we're going to be in here for a while. We don't actually have to do that much baking. We are just doubling a chocolate cake recipe, and we have to get the little pigs in a blanket ready and the Caprese salad. So in my mixing bowl, I have 2 cups, excuse me, let me look at my recipe. This is my mom's recipe. This is the best chocolate cake you will ever eat. I have 2 cups of butter in here because we're doubling it. We need to put 6 cups of brown sugar, which is a lot of brown sugar. Let me count these and then I'll tell you the story behind this cake recipe. So that's 3. 4. And I make my own homemade brown sugar, and I'm missing 2 cups. Brown sugar is just white sugar and molasses. For every 1 cup of white sugar, you want about anywhere between a teaspoon and a tablespoon of brown sugar, depending on if you want light or dark brown sugar. So I don't feel like making up brown sugar right now, so I'm just going to put the remaining 2 cups of white sugar in there and some molasses. I have all the other ingredients we need out to make this recipe. So that would be 1 and for 2 cups. If you've never made homemade brown sugar, it's the easiest thing to make and the quality is so much better. We're going to cream the butter and sugar together. And just looking at this, I don't know if this is all going to fit in here, but we're going to make it work. We're adding 8 eggs one at a time. Now this is my mom's famous chocolate cake recipe. I've never made it before, but this recipe is famous on my side of the family, and now it's even famous on Josh's side of the family. Everyone on my husband's side of the family loves this cake, and everyone on my side of the family loves this cake. And if my mom was here to tell you, she would say the first time she made this cake, she was completely confused because this recipe calls for boiling water. And it almost looks like the cake is curdled or separated before it all ends up coming together in the end. We call this Leah's chocolate cake, even though my mom's name is not Leah, because my sister-in-law's name is Leah, and the first time my mom made this cake was for my sister-in-law, because my mom always makes for our birthdays whatever type of dessert we want, and my sister-in-law said she wanted really rich, dark chocolate cake. And this is not a light, fluffy cake. If you like super light, fluffy cakes, this isn't the cake for you. This is a dense, chewy, delicious cake, which that's how I like my cakes. I'm not a fan of like the really light, fluffy cakes. But we're gonna make this together and we're gonna see how it turns out. Another thing is I've never made these in cupcakes, neither has my mom. We always make them in a 3-layer cake. So we're gonna try something completely new for a party once again. Why not live our lives on the edge, right? So we have 8 eggs in there. Now we're gonna add our vanilla. Now that we have the butter mixture mixed together, we're gonna mix the dry ingredients in here together. And I can't talk while I do this because you know me and doubling recipes. I tend to mess up on that. I could only talk when I was doing the eggs because I had those pre-measured out. So we're gonna do flour. If you're wondering why I'm doing all of this baking and cooking tonight, it's my sister-in-law's baby shower tomorrow, and I am responsible for the cupcakes, the Caprese salad kabobs, and the pigs in a blanket. So that is what we are doing tonight. All right, we have our flour, cocoa, baking soda, and salt. We're gonna whisk this together. I almost thought I was out of cocoa powder because I couldn't find this when I reorganized my pantry. And I could have sworn I had cocoa powder. I finally found it. I have cocoa powder. I was going to be really irritated with myself if I couldn't find it because it is 8:05 right now and I do not feel like going to the store again after running all those errands today. I can already tell all the ingredients that we need to put into this cake are not going to fit into my KitchenAid mixer. So I got out a big bowl. We already did the hard part, which was cream the sugar and butter together. So I'm going to transfer this to this bowl and we're going to keep going. I have measured out sour cream. I have 2 2/3 cups sour cream.
It says to add the flour and sour cream alternatively until fully mixed. So start with some of the flour. I may not have needed to double this recipe because this seems like a lot. But I asked my husband, should I double it or not? And he said, what's the worst case scenario if you double it? And I said, too many cupcakes. And he said, that doesn't sound like a problem to me. So that is why I doubled it. I'm not even sure, honestly, how many people are going to be at the party, which is probably something I should have asked before being responsible for 3 of the food items. This batter is so thick right now, but we have to add 2 2/3 cup of boiling water to this. This is where the recipe gets a little bit weird, but trust me, as long as I make it correctly, it's going to be delicious. There we go. Now we mix that together. I feel like I'm mixing my cauldron. It smells so good. The sour cream and chocolate and brown sugar. I think the brown sugar is key in this recipe because it gives you so much more richness than if you're just using white sugar. I will substitute brown sugar for recipes all the time. Almost all my quick breads, pumpkin bread, banana bread, zucchini bread, I almost always use brown sugar because it just tastes better. Okay, once this is fully mixed, we will start putting this into our muffin tins. I have the oven preheated to 350 degrees, and like I said, my mom nor I have ever made these into muffins, but why can't you make any cake batter into muffins? I don't know. So I'm not sure how long to bake them for, so I will be setting timers for this, and we're gonna start probably with 10 minutes and go from there, knowing that it's probably gonna take longer than 10 minutes. I do wanna make sure this is well incorporated. I do not think I needed to double this recipe, but it's gonna be delicious. Cakes really are not that complicated to make from scratch. When you use a box, there's nothing wrong with using a box, but you really only have to get out twice as many ingredients. So instead of the 3 or 4 ingredients you need to make a box, you might have to get out 8 or 6, and the flavor is gonna be so much better. So I would recommend trying to make a cake from scratch if you've never made one from scratch. And if you don't want to go to the effort of decorating a fancy cake, say you have enough time to either decorate a fancy cake or make a cake from scratch, I would say make the cake from scratch, put it in just a 9x13 and just frost the top of it, and you save yourself time with the fancy decorations. My mom does a great job. She always decorates really beautiful cakes, but it's really the flavor that's important. Okay, this is done. Let me grab the muffin tins. The theme for this baby shower is gold and sage and green. Well, I could not find green muffin tin liners. I could find the mini muffin tin liners, and I did buy them on Amazon. That was something I was supposed to do today, was return those, but I forgot. And so we're gonna do gold, and I thought, since that's the only thing I could find in regular tins, gold with chocolate cake with these cool gold sprinkles and these little gold sayings that say, "Oh baby," I'll show you when I open them, would be really cute. My sister-in-law wanted a baby shower that wouldn't scream, "I'm having a boy," or I'm having a girl. She wanted it to be, so we're doing really a lot of neutrals, so I thought the gold theme was cute. And I thought the gold would pop with the chocolate, because we're gonna make a chocolate frosting as well. I do have more muffin tin liners. I thought that's all I had, but I have more. Thank goodness. Now we fill these up. First round going in. Now on the stove here, we're gonna make a balsamic vinegar glaze to go on our caprese salads. So I have a little bit of sugar and balsamic vinegar, and I'm gonna reduce this down. The sugar just helps this speed up the process, and because it's now 8:30, we're gonna do this quickly. I'm gonna prep I don't even know what these are called, where we're gonna take the little sausages and wrap them in crescent rolls. I'm gonna prep these today, and then we'll bake them tomorrow so they'll be fresh. So I should have done the math earlier on this because I'm getting $8.16 per, so I might not have bought enough crescent rolls. Let's see. Oh, you know what? I just checked on the cupcakes. They are nowhere near being done. Those are going to take a while in there. So that's why I wanted to try to get those done first, so that I could work on these types of things that are just basically assembling. Because I'm not going to bake these tonight. I'll bake them probably at the party tomorrow so that they'll be nice and fresh. Okay, I came up with a faster way to do this. You just take your little sausage and you roll it like this, and then just cut there. And that way the whole little sausage is rolled in the crescent, and I think that's most people's favorite part anyway. And I have more than enough crescent. Some of them I went through that were a little skimpy because I have extra crescent roll, and I'm just adding a little bit. So these muffins are perfectly done in that, let me show you, the toothpick comes out clean, but I way overfilled them. So they're a little bit top heavy, but they should taste good, I think. Can you see how it's leaving a trail? This is how I want this, nice and syrupy. It's gonna thicken when it cools, and we're gonna drizzle this over the caprese salad. We're gonna let these cool for just a few minutes, and then I'll put them on a cooling rack. So we are not gonna fill them as full this time. Okay. I'm gonna use a smaller cup measure to help me. I'm out of the gold muffin liners, so I'm gonna have to use, I don't know what I'm gonna have to use. I think I'm out of muffin liners. Okay, that's as full as I'm gonna fill them this time. I gotta figure out how full to fill these. I wish I hadn't have used my gold ones on those first ones because they are a little top heavy. Pigs in a blanket, done, ready to be baked tomorrow. So I'm gonna just put a little piece of saran wrap over them, and in the fridge they go. And I did find more white muffin tin liners, so we can make all those into cupcakes.
Today is not my day. Ooh.
I definitely broke some glass opening this cupboard, getting ready to do the next step for the caprese salad. A little jar of applewood smoked olive oil fell out of the cupboard onto the granite, exploded in my face, and now these cannot be eaten. One, they have olive oil all over them, and two, there could be potential glass in them. So, it's okay. The scrap will run. Thank goodness I doubled this recipe. Thank goodness I bought more white muffin tin liners. No worries if they're not gold like I originally intended. The ones in there are gold, and I have plenty of the cupcake mix, I believe. So we're gonna have enough cupcakes. But you are gonna see me in a fourth change today because I need to go change. I have olive oil all over my face, all over my sweater. I need to get this sweater in the wash. Oh yeah, you can see it right there. And this balsamic vinegar is toast. Yeah, there's most definitely glass in that. And I don't have any more balsamic vinegar, and I am in pantry challenge. So you know what I'm gonna do? on the way to the party tomorrow, I'm gonna go ahead and buy balsamic glaze. You can buy it pre-made. I like to make it because I know what ingredients are in it. We're just gonna buy it on the way there. No big deal, no big deal. I'm gonna go change, wash my face, and we'll be back to get the caprese salad put together. Well, the good thing is these look a lot better in here. I definitely put the correct amount of batter in. Let's test them. Those feel good. I think I'm gonna give them one more minute and we're gonna take them out. I don't wanna overcook them, but I don't wanna undercook them. We're gonna call it. They look so perfect. They do look better. So, at least for that. I'll let them cool for a few minutes and then we'll get another round in and we'll keep baking them. These are all that we have left for the gold papers. The rest are gonna be in white papers. It's okay. Do you know what this calls for this evening? A carbonated water. My mother-in-law dropped off this box in exchange for using my freeze dryer, and I don't think this could have come at a better time. This is the Waterloo. This is probably my favorite brand. I really, really like that brand. It's got a lot of flavor and the bubbles are really big and bubbly and I love it. So I got these cute little skewers on Amazon. I have my little station here. I'm gonna do this sitting down because my feet are starting to hurt and it's late. I normally don't work in the kitchen sitting down, but today calls for that. These are cute little bamboo skewers. I can link them. I thought they would be a little bit more festive than just a toothpick. So I just re-looked online how to do this. And a lot of recipes do a tomato, a piece of basil. So I prepped all this basil just a minute ago. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fold it outwards so that the dark green side is out. Stab that. Piece of mozzarella. And then another piece of basil. Yeah, I want to get the stem off. I've never done this before, but I've certainly eaten my fair share of caprese salads. This is making me want summer very badly. And then tomato. These came in different sizes. These little toothpick chopsticky things. And the one that I saw had another piece of mozzarella. I don't know why I'm saying it like that. Another piece of mozzarella. But my skewers aren't big enough for that. So I think I'm going to do some where I'll do tomato, mozzarella, tomato, and some I'll do mozzarella, tomato, mozzarella. So really pretty. You can hear my washer machine going. It's because I wanted to get my brand new hoodie from Utah washed because I really like that hoodie that I just got. So I hope I didn't completely ruin it. It wouldn't be the first time I bought something and got it stained the first week I owned it. I'm not the most graceful person, but I can get things done quickly, usually. There might be a mishap while it gets done, but it gets done. I'm not gonna lie, I hope that a couple of these tomatoes are left over and I can make something with them. Does that count against pantry challenge if they're left over from a recipe I had to make for a party? I don't know if that's cheating or not. You tell me. Might be. I think those are so pretty. I don't know, friends. I'm getting a little bit tired here. I don't know about you, but it is past my bedtime. I am not a late owl. I normally like to be in bed by 9:30, 10 o'clock, but that doesn't always happen, and that's okay. These are feeling like they're perfectly done. I was wondering where the 25th paper liner went, and it's right here. So I'm not going to let that go to waste. I'm going to reuse that one. I'm going to put the white liners in, get them filled with the cupcake mixture, And back in the oven they go. Look how beautiful these turned out. This just is so beautiful to me. So we did something right. Minus, I guess, we broke the platter for it, and we don't have the balsamic sauce, but these themselves are beautiful. We're gonna get these wrapped up into the fridge, and the second round or third round of cupcakes are about to come out of the oven. I have one more half pan, I think there's 6 or 7 cupcakes in the oven, and I took these last ones out with the white cupcake liners, and I think that's cute. I thought that they were going to be bright white like this one, where on accident put 2. So this will be for Josh. I won't bring this to the party, but this just looks cute because it's just like a brown cupcake. And I do have a hard time overfilling my cupcakes, so I'm gonna have to practice that. I don't tend to have this issue with muffins, but I don't know if cupcakes, like the chemistry is a little bit different than a muffin. But I like the ones that look flatter and are just, I don't know, I think this is cuter. I don't know. So I am not going to stay up to frost or decorate these tonight because it's way past my bedtime and I want to go brush my teeth and get ready for bed while those cupcakes are in the oven. I need to remember to set a timer so I don't forget them. Not that I don't have enough cupcakes. I think this is probably more than enough cupcakes with the other food that will be there, but I still, like I said, I don't even know how many people are going to be there, so that's something I probably should know. But that's okay. What was I saying? Oh, tomorrow we'll come back. We will make the frosting, and it's a really cool frosting. It's got chocolate and sour cream, and it's just 2 different kinds of chocolate, and it's just really good. I don't like frosting, but people say it's really good. So I bought this on Amazon too. I guess it was kind of like Amazon shopping day, and this is a piping set. I am not a cake decorator or anything, so we're gonna attempt to do some sort of cake decorating with this and with those really cool sprinkles that I got yesterday. So I'll see you back tomorrow morning. Good morning. I haven't had my coffee yet. You can probably hear it in the background. It is percolating right now. I probably should have got up an hour ago. It is 7:50, but I didn't because I went to bed really late last night. So we have 2 different chocolates here. We're gonna make the frosting, and I kind of already realized I didn't buy enough. We have Ghirardelli's 100% unsweetened chocolate, a 4-ounce bar, and Ghirardelli's semi-sweet 60%. No, it doesn't say. It just says Premier Baking 60% semi-sweet chocolate. And to double the recipe, we need 6 ounces each. And I realized this morning, as I looked at these, that I only have 4. But I think I'm just going to make 1 and 1 1/3 of a recipe, so that I think that'll be enough frosting for. I don't even have enough sour cream to double this recipe either, so we'll just work with what we have, and I think it'll be plenty. I'm gonna break this up into a bowl. I got my scale out because I thought I was gonna have to do some calculations on 6 ounces of chocolate, but not realizing I completely did not buy enough. That's okay. The recipe says to do this in a double boiler, but I'm just gonna do it in the microwave. So we're gonna microwave it on low and slow for about 10-15 seconds, take it out, stir it, 10-15 seconds, take it out, stir it. Sorry if you can hear my coffee in the background. We need butter. We need 1/2 cup plus a little bit of butter. And because I'm gonna do this in the microwave, I'm gonna cut it a little smaller so it melts faster. And we reduce the risk of burning it. And then we just need an extra ounce, which would be here. Okay, into the microwave. I may have forgotten that I'm responsible to bring chairs as well. And so we get to run to my sister's house, who just had her baby 2 weeks ago. And we're gonna borrow chairs from her this morning, and so I'm gonna get to be able to cuddle my little niece. so many new little babies around. And then this evening, it's kind of crazy, but we're gonna have dinner at my parents' house, and all my nieces and nephews are gonna be together for the first time in 2 years. And not because we don't live far away from each other, but just with all the craziness that was going on in the world. I've seen my nieces and nephews separately, but we haven't all been together. And now we have one new niece. So I'm pretty excited that this weekend we are all going to be together for the first time in a long time. Look at these cool wooden spoons I got in my P.O. box. These are fantastic. I have only used them, well, I've only had them for 2 days, and I've used a bunch of them. I have them in all different sizes. Aren't these cool? I think these are some of the coolest wooden utensils I've ever owned, except for those long skinny spoons, which I still really love. I'm really grateful that you sent these to me, so thank you so much. I can look online and see if I can find them. They were from Amazon when they came into my P.O. box. I'm just sitting there talking and talking and talking and not stirring this. It's probably in there for a minute. You probably were yelling at me, Becky, stir the chocolate. I'm pretty chatty apparently this morning for having no coffee. Maybe that is why. Oh man, I can hear it. It's almost done. All right, I'm going to do that again. In our mixer, I have just a little over 1 cup of sour cream. I'll link this recipe down in the description box. This is my mom's recipe, like I said, and it is so good. So Josh, for my birthday 3 years ago, made me this cake. He enjoys baking, and he made this cake for me, and he's done it twice. He's cooked this cake twice, and he did a phenomenal job. Oh my gosh, he is a great baker, because he even, like in the movies, measures everything out before he even gets started. He has he bought all these little ramekins the first time he made it, and he had bought different sizes so he could have everything pre-measured, and he could just do it, his mise en place ready, like you're supposed to do. I don't ever do that. And that's why I mess up a lot. And so, anyway, he did a phenomenal job, and he likes to bake, but he's so busy that he doesn't really have time to do it. And I do enough baking for the both of us, even though baking stretches my cooking abilities. Okay, so it calls for 5 cups of powdered sugar, but we're adding a little bit more of everything, so I'm going to start with 5, and then we will add more if we need to, which I know we'll need to. And then we need to add a little bit of vanilla, and you saw me add the salt. I got my new piping set out, and it comes with all these tips. I thought that there would be a bigger, just plain round one, but we'll see. We'll see how this goes. I might not even use a tip. It came with reusable silicone piping bags and disposable. Today, I'm going to use disposable because I have a busy day and I think it'll just be easier on myself. But I think it's cool that I'm going to try the silicone ones. I've never really piped anything before, so no time like the present. Was I supposed to? No, I'm not supposed to put that. So you put this piece in first before you cut a hole, and then you put your tip that you want. Let's see, right? Or do I cut the hole? There's no directions. That doesn't work. Okay, this piece goes in the piping bag first. So you put that piece in the piping bag. You cut the tip off. We're learning together. Then you put your tip on. That makes more sense. Okay. Now you fill your piping bag. So I'm gonna keep this because I might not use a tip depending on what this looks like. Darn. I wish this was like 4 or 5 times the size. Let's try this. I'm gonna try it without a tip because all the tips I bought were really small. Oh yeah. Perfect. So we're gonna do it without the tip. We're not gonna say what that looks like. I love it. Yeah, it's cute. So once we have the sprinkles on it and the "oh baby" sign, I think it'll be cute. This is just a little too small. So let's get frosting. Well, one just fell. Oops. They're dropping like flies. All right, we're gonna start with the ones with the gold paper because I want to make sure I have enough frosting for those ones first. And that was one that just fell on the floor, of course.
I know the humor on my husband's side of the family, and I was waiting to see how long it would take someone to comment on my frosting, and it took 0.21 seconds for someone to comment.
I am so proud of myself. You don't even need a piping bag, probably. You could probably do this with a Ziploc bag, but I was really wanting to try to use those tips, but I didn't realize how small they were. I'm gonna find a use for them. I'm gonna attempt to maybe get better at this piping thing and use those tips, but I also want to look into getting some bigger tips because I like the simplicity for a cupcake to have just a nice big thing of frosting on the top, and then the gold sprinkles are going to look beautiful, I think. I'm out of frosting and I have that many more cupcakes to frost, so I'm making up just a cream cheese chocolate frosting. I just put a little bit of butter, a little bit of cream cheese. I'm going to put a bunch of powdered sugar and quite a bit of cocoa powder, and that is going to be our frosting. We got them all frosted and I think they look super cute, but now we get to put the sprinkles on. And I don't have that many of them, and I just threw a bunch of them on the floor. These are really beautiful sprinkles. So now I have to figure out how I'm going to get them on the cupcakes, if I need to individually put them on. Oh, that didn't stick. Because I don't think I can just sprinkle them on because they're not going to stick. Yeah, I just tried to throw one on there and it did not stick. So I'm going to have to individually put them on. I feel like I need those tweezers that really fancy restaurants use where they pick one thing up at a time, like one little microgreen or something, and it would make this a lot easier. I really like the color of the second batch of frosting I made. I had a little left over of that black cocoa from making Oreos, and I think with the gold it just stands out a little bit better. Not too bad, if I do say so myself, for making cupcakes and frosting them with a piping bag for the first time. I definitely could improve, but I'm pretty happy with how those turned out, even if half of the sprinkles are on my floor right now. I think this is going to be a perfect way to travel with the cupcakes. I'm not going to put a top on them or anything like that. I'm just going to put them in the back of my car just like this. My sister-in-law lives less than 5 minutes from me, so they'll be safe in the meantime. I need to go shower, get ready, go get the chairs, and I'll show you what this looks like when it is all pulled together. Friends, we did it again. Thank you for hanging out with me today and yesterday. I meant to get all this done in one day, but life happens and that didn't happen, and that is okay. And we just had a great time hanging out. I just want to say a huge thank you for taking time out of your day to spend time with me. Because you show up, I am able to do this, and I greatly, greatly appreciate it. And I don't feel like I'm alone when I go throughout my day. And I appreciate your comments, your likes, everything that you do to interact with me is just an honor, and it's humbling, and it's a blessing. So thank you so much. If you want to watch a couple of my other videos, I will put them right here. If you did enjoy this video, I would greatly appreciate a thumbs up. If you're new, please consider subscribing, and I cannot wait to see you guys next time. Bye guys.